Hi everybody, welcome back. I've got my project pan update video today. My project pan at the moment is quite small. There's only 6 items that I'm going to talk about, and in terms of empties I have finished off 3 out of the 6. So in terms of a percentage, I've done really well. Since the previous update I have used up half of the items that are in my project pan, so in terms of percentage that's really good, but in overall numbers it doesn't sound quite as impressive, but I am still happy with 3 empties. I think that is still a good monthly progress. So let's just go through what these items are. This is probably going to be quite a short video, quite a short update. So first item on my list, this is my notepad where I keep my products listed and then I tally how many times that I use them. So first product is my Nars Sheer Glow Foundation. My numbers this month aren't very high. I'm not really sure why. I don't really recall what I've done differently this month. I must have just had more makeup free days. That must be it, because I can't really recall why I've not used this one more than 13 times, but hey ho. So yeah, I've used this one 13 times. I cannot see how much of this is left. I didn't mark this as well when I first put it into the project pan, but it was pretty full. I would say now there's no less than half of this left, I would reckon. This is about 5 months out of date, so I am keeping a close eye on it, seeing how it behaves. I have it on today. It's still fine, no reactions, it doesn't smell iffy, so it's fine to continue using, but it might turn one day or it might not. We'll have to see. But yeah, 13 uses since the previous update. I will not be able to finish this one off by the end of this year unless I decide to use all of it in one go. So this one is highly likely going to stay in the project pan next year, starting off in January when I do my intro, because it just needs to get used up. Like I say, it's 5 months out of date. I want to get this one used up before it does go off. So we will see how much longer that takes, probably another 3-4 months. Next product is my Vive Bronzing Duo, and I haven't used this at all since the previous update, but it's an empty. How, you might ask? Well, I opened this up, and because there was only a little bit of product at the top, it's quite unstable. I opened this up and then whatever bronzer was left in this pan just fell on the floor. So I had to clean my carpet. Carpet is now fine, it's all good. My fault for getting a cream carpet. So yeah, I didn't actually physically use any of this since the previous update because it just crumbled out and fell on the floor, so there was nothing left to use. I am calling this finished though because this shade is the darker, of the 2 shades in the palette, and the shade that is empty, that shade was even too dark for me and slightly orange, not as orange as this shade. So I will not be using this. It's too dark, it's too orange, and I just have no interest in using it. It also doesn't work as an eyeshadow as well because it is too dark. So I will be throwing this one away by the end of the year. I won't be passing it on to anybody because it is also a couple of years out of date. Vive makeup does not have a long shelf life at all. This has a 12-month shelf life. It is fine to continue using though. It's a powder. Powder lasts a lot longer than liquid and cream products do in terms of the recommended shelf life. So I could still use it, but I don't really have anyone to pass this on to. The person that I usually pass my makeup on to, I don't think she would use this, and I don't really feel comfortable giving her something that is a good couple of years out of date. So I will just, unfortunately, throw this away. My other empty also comes from Vive. The day has come. It has finally happened where I have completely used up this palette by Vive. This is the Dimension Face palette in the shade Dawn. It had 2 blushes, one peachy one pink one, a golden highlighter and a light bronzer, and every single shade in this palette was beautiful. It was perfect for my skin tone, so springs this would have been perfect for you. Autumns it might have been a little bit too light. Gorgeous palette. Why this was only limited edition I have no idea, so if they do bring it back as a permanent collection I would buy it because it was just beautiful, and I've used up every single shade, so I obviously got my money's worth. The pink blusher, I finished it off on the 9th and it only took me 4 uses. Some of it did do what the bronzer did and like fall on the floor and fall off, but the rest of it I was able to use it up as a blusher, and it was just a very pretty, gentle, slightly warm pink blusher, great for an everyday look. built really nicely with my Vive Pesca blusher, which I'll talk about in a moment. Just a real pleasure to use. My only frustration was just how much longer it took me to use up that blusher compared to everything else in this palette. All the other shades, they were fairly easy to use up, but that pink blusher just clung for dear life and just didn't want to be used up. But it now has been, so I have used up this entire face palette. Okay, the Pesca blusher I've used 15 times since the past update, and a few days ago when I went to open it, it's broken apart. Now it's because it's magnetic, and how, let me show you with the other one actually. It's magnetic, and how you use it, you can open it like that and you can fold it over on itself. So because of me, I suppose, folding it over quite a bit when I use it, it's just weakened it and it's just broken apart. But the magnet still works, so it's still perfectly fine to continue using. Like I say, used it 15 times since the previous update. Probably doesn't look any different compared to the other monthly update photos. I don't know whether I will or won't put them on because it just doesn't look the same. No idea when I'm going to hit pan, no idea when I'm going to use this one up, but it's just a really great everyday blusher shade for me to wear. And then I mixed that one in with the Piazza blush, which I've used 11 times since the last update. I put this one into the project pan after using up the pink blusher from the Vive face palette. So this one and Pesca are the only Vive blushes that I have left, and they work really nicely together. This one looks like it's probably only suited in terms of colour analysis to, say, dark autumns, but actually this is a really nice, relatively bright blusher. I was thinking when I was analysed as a true spring that this blusher wouldn't be the best choice. It would be too dark, it would be too deep, not vibrant enough, but actually it does translate as a relatively bright reddish blush. And I have it on today, it's probably faded a little bit, but I have this mixed in with Pesca today and they work really well. This does add a little bit of depth to Pesca, but this matches the brightness of Pesca, so together they're really, really nice. This was a blusher that I haven't used nowhere near as much as Pesca, so this one, even if I keep this one in the project pan, which I'm not sure if I am going to do, this would probably take until the end of next year to even hit pan on it. I don't think I would even use it up, but it's lovely. It's a really nice blusher. I'm enjoying using it. And then the last product that's in the project pan is the last product that I've finished off since the past update. I used it 8 times and I finished it off on the 19th of November. It is my Merit Day Glow, the highlighting stick. I used it until it was completely flat and I couldn't apply any more without scraping my face with the applicator. I did also dig out the rest of the product and there wasn't actually much worth digging out. I put that in a pot and I did try using it with a brush, with my finger, but because this has quite a balmy, arguably greasy texture, I felt using it with a brush or with my finger just didn't work. It would just pick up the grease rather than the pigment. So I've since thrown that away because it just wasn't applying very nicely at all. So I would say with this, once you have gone level, that's it. You can call it a day with this highlighter. My opinion of this highlighter has changed. When I first tried it, I didn't like it. I thought it was greasy, I thought it was oily, but I've since found a way to make it work. I will apply my blusher, which is, say, like a lipstick, or a cream blusher, and I would then apply some of this on top of it, blend it in together, and it adds a little bit of iridescence, a little bit of shimmer into my blusher. So I don't wear this as like a standalone highlighter on my cheekbones. Doing it that way, I do find that it is a little bit greasy, but mixed in with a cream blusher or a lipstick, it works really nicely. So I did end up enjoying using this one, but I don't think I would repurchase it. I think I would look for something different. So now in the project pan, I only have 3 items. I have my Nars Sheer Glow Foundation and then the Pesca and Piazza powder blushes, none of which I will be able to use up by the end of the year, but whatever progress I can make on them, I will be happy with. And I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of the products that are in the project pan next year. The foundation will highly likely stay. The blushes, I'm not sure. I have some powder blushes in my Hourglass palette that I haven't touched in a while, so I might just rotate each month, or I might just not include any and just use whatever I feel like wearing on the day. I don't know, but I will give some thought to that and then probably do a planning to pan video sometime in late December. We will see. I will need to give that some thought, but that's the update for this month. So 3 empties. I've slashed the project pan in half down to just 3 products now. So thank you for watching, hope you liked it. Have a lovely rest of your day and I'll see you soon. Bye.